Happy Tuesday, Living Hope. It's good to see you guys, and welcome to our devotional. I'll be reading from John chapter 18 for us, and I'll read just a few verses, and we'll talk about some characters in these stories. Join me, John 18, verse 12. So the band of soldiers and their captain and the officers of the Jews arrested Jesus and bound him. First they led him to Annas, for he was a father-in-law of Caiaphas, who was the high priest that year. It was Caiaphas who had advised the Jews that it would be expedient that one man should die for the people. Skipping down to verse 19, the high priest then questioned Jesus about his disciples and his teachings. Jesus answered him, I have spoken openly to the world. I have always taught in synagogues and in the temple where all the Jews come together. I have said nothing in secret. Why do you ask me? Ask those who have heard me what I said to them. They know what I said. When he had said these things, one of the officers standing by struck Jesus with his hand, saying, Is this how you answer the high priest? Jesus answered him, If what I said is wrong, bear witness about the wrong. But if what I said is right, why do you strike me? Annas then sent him bound to Caiaphas, the high priest. Today we're going to talk about Annas and Caiaphas from this story, two characters who represent the illusion of control. Have you ever been in a situation where something just doesn't go according to your plan, or something falls apart and you freak out, or you get frustrated, or you get really upset? If you're anything like me, that's like an everyday occurrence. We were recently putting together our junior high retreat, and we had this awesome, amazing relay planned for our Saturday activity. We bought all the supplies, and they were coming in the mail, and I bought all these supplies ahead of time because I knew we were going to need them for this relay race. But it was the Friday of retreat, and I'm sitting here at church, and I look at my Amazon account, and I realize there's one package that still has not come in yet. We needed these plungers, and I'm pacing back and forth, and I'm waiting for that notification. And it wasn't until we were on the bus heading to retreat that I finally got that notification that your plungers have arrived. I was upset, I was frustrated, because my plan completely fell apart. I was in no control over what was happening, and I was upset. In our story today, we read about Annas and Caiaphas, and these two characters are powerful characters in the Jewish society. They are the high priest and the father-in-law of the high priest. The high priest is the leader of the Sanhedrin, which is the ruling Jewish council at that time. They made decisions on legal things and religious things for the Jews. And so these are powerful characters. We learn in our story today that they arrest Jesus and they bring him before the Sanhedrin, and they put him on trial for the things he's been saying and the things he's been doing. And at the end of this trial, they convict him of blasphemy and they send him away to be executed. Now, one of the problems for Annas and Caiaphas is that they actually have no power or control at all. You see, at the time, even though they were the leaders of the Jewish ruling council, they were still under this Roman authority. The Romans had the power to convict and punish criminals, but the Jews did not. So the trial that they had put together really represented nothing. There was no real power or backing or control in it. If you look into the story deeper, you see just how little control Annas and Caiaphas really have. For example, they have to meet at night in secret when Jesus is saying that the things he said have been open and in public for everyone to see. You see that Annas and Caiaphas, they put Jesus on trial, and which, if you think about it, they're literally putting God on trial. When we think about our lives and the things that we think we have control over, when they fall apart, we realize we really had no control over that situation. How do we react? Are we like Annas and Caiaphas, questioning God? Why did you let this happen? Why is this happening? Putting God on trial? Or are we listening to the words of Jesus and submitting ourselves to his authority? Going back to our retreat, I was really upset that we didn't get these plungers for our relay. And then we get to the retreat site, and Saturday, it's just raining completely all day. The relay that we had planned, we couldn't even do it because we had to stay indoors all day Saturday. But what ended up happening is we had a different set of games and a really fun time indoors, and it turned out to be an even greater experience than anything I could have ever planned for. I was completely not in control of the situation, but God was in control. And what I learned from this is that I needed to submit myself to God's authority and to trust that even though I might not be in control of the situation, God is in control. This Easter, as we prepare our hearts for Easter Sunday, I just want to challenge you, church members, that we should submit ourselves to God's authority. When things fall apart or when things don't go our way, maybe God has something better or different in store. From darkness to light, we hope to see you at Living Hope this Easter Sunday.